It's been a while since I did one of these haul videos, but I think as a collector, you go through periods where you start buying quite a lot in a short space of time, usually after something new has come out. It kind of whets your appetite, and then you take a break from it. In this case, this is something that just fell into my lap. I've started using a website called Vinted, which is predominantly a website that sells clothes and household items and things. But while I was looking around it one day, I noticed that they had a CD and DVD section and thought, let's have a look for Quo. Now, if you're not familiar with this site, it's kind of like eBay. Everybody, is kind of looking in their wardrobe, selling stuff on this platform. So it's perhaps a little bit more personal than other things. And so when you see something you like on this platform, a good thing to do is to look at their account and see if there's anything else, because you can buy multiple items from the same seller and get postage off. Sometimes if you buy multiple items, you even get a percentage off, and we'll get to that in just a moment. So I did this search for Status Quo, and it came up with this seller who was selling one particular album. And then, as I looked into their profile, it seemed like this person was a collector for a little while, maybe kept up with modern releases before, whatever reason, selling them on Vinted. So I loaded up my trolley, thought this will do for a great haul video, as well as bulking up my collection with things that I don't have, or even just additional stuff of interest. So I've got this envelope here. I've obscured that, even though this was actually done via an in-post in a store. Do look out for that. It's a very good system when it works. So let's pull out the first item. And these are all items I've chosen, things I didn't have. So this is a free CD box set of the Essential Status Quo. This is the first time I'm looking at this. I haven't looked in this to see the condition, and I can already see that it's kind of worn around the edges. I mean, when did this come out? In the early 2000s, I want to say. Now, I did have this, but I didn't, because I had Volume 1. That was bought for me a long time ago. And then, obviously, Volume 2 and 3 were played to me. I think my brother had this set, and my dad did as well. And so I got played bits and pieces from it. This was before I got all the albums. And the thing is, you could say, well, why did you buy this when you've got all the albums up there, all the tracks on here are pretty much, all on these CDs and records and things that you've already got. Well, this was, I think, £2, £3, maybe even £1. It was under that, round that price range anyway, and I thought, I can't leave it there. And it would be nice, I thought, to kind of get the other two so that my one up there wasn't alone. And maybe I'll give away disc 1 to somebody that wants it. So let's dig once again into the bag, and we've got 1982. So for regular listeners and viewers of the podcast, you will know this is the only post-1970 studio album that I didn't own on CD. This is the mid-2000s, 2006 remaster. So it has several bonus tracks. I should have got that deluxe edition, really, with the rehearsal footage and stuff on it and all the extra bits and pieces. I actually quite like this album. I've reviewed it before. Go and check it out. So once again, let's have a look. We've got Last of the Electrics. Now this is the CD version. I haven't got it on DVD. It just kind of passed me by. I think this came out what, 2017? Yeah, I was very busy in my life, moving house and other bits and pieces, and going through some mental health issues. And so I, for some reason, just haven't picked this up. So I'm glad to finally get a copy. Like I say, this is the CD version, the first live album to be released after the passing of Rick Parfitt, and the first official release to have Richie Malone on it. I've listened to it on Spotify a few times. I don't think I've listened to it all the way through, so I look forward to doing that. So let's have another dip. Down, Down and Dirty at Wacken. Another live album that I just didn't get round to. I wasn't really collecting at this point, from 2018. This is again an album that I've heard in pieces on Spotify, but I will look into listening to it all the way through. And hearing a band kind of in transition, I feel, at this point. So yeah, Down, Down and Dirty at Wacken. Speaking of Down, Down and Dirty at Wacken, Down, Down and Dignified at the Royal Albert Hall. This is acoustic live. This isn't the Roundhouse gig. This is one that was recorded afterwards. And this is, again, after Rick passed away. They released this the same time as the Wacken gig, right? Again, another thing I've heard little bits about. Glad to get it into my collection, because live recordings are just not something I've really collected. If I've picked up a live recording from Quo, it tends to be by accident. When I picked up the 1982 NEC concert on CD a while ago, it was because the seller was selling something else I wanted, and they were like, well, could you not put a few more things in the parcels? I was like, okay, I'll have that. So live albums don't tend to be the thing that I go for, but in this case I thought let's try it, let's have a little listen through. And certainly with the acoustic stuff, I really liked it. I thought it was a great project with really nice interpretations that weren't for everybody, but for me, I liked it. I liked that big production and the way in which that they did the songs at that point. So that is Down, Down and Dignified. Let's reach in here and pull out Status Quo, the Frantic Four Reunion 2013, live at the Hammersmith Apollo. I was there, actually, on one of these dates, and I did wonder when I saw this, I wondered which date it was, or whether this was an amalgamation of both nights. I'm assuming it's the latter. I will know when I hear it, because I bought the night I was on. So yeah, I'm just flicking through here just to see if there's anything, but there's mainly pictures from that, so let's just have a look in here, shall we? So I can't see anything in there at first glance, but I don't think it matters, because like I say, I was at one of the gigs, great memories. I've already got the recording on my computer. It was nice to have a form of it though in physical format. What a gig that was. That's Status Quo Frantic 4 Reunion 2013, live at Hammersmith Apollo. Now there's not many items in here now, so I had Frantic 4 2013. This is Frantic 4's Final Fling, live at the Dublin O2 Arena. Now I do already have this, because if you bought the Blu-ray, I think this is the Blu-ray. I think it is. It's the CD that comes with the Blu-ray. Let me check. Now I was wrong about this. I think this is actually highlights on the CD from that gig, whereas this seems to be the full thing. So actually I'm not doubling up. It's good, you know. I'm glad. I love this picture of the Frantic Four on the front here, because we can see all four of them, Francis, Alan, the way that Rick looks at Alan, plus John Coughlan just in the zone. So yes, I look forward to hearing that full gig, and maybe watching it with my son at some point as well. So there's one more in here, and we're going to see what it is now. So, Don't Stop, Status Quo's 30th anniversary album, with this suited and booted picture on the front. One of my first exposures to the band. Now, I do already own this album, but this edition, released by Demon Music back in 2017 by the looks of it here, has bonus tracks on it, like the mid-2000s remaster. When I bought it many years ago, must have been like at least 18, 19 years ago, it was already out in special edition, but I couldn't afford that, so I bought an original copy. I think a print still existed of like the original pressing of it. So I thought, well, I'll buy this because it was on their page on Vinted for £1, and I was like, I don't think anyone else is going to buy this. And this has extra tracks on it, like Tilting at the Mill and Mortified with the Beach Boys, Temporary Friend, I'll Never Get Over You. So yeah, I thought, let's pick it up. Let's get a few of those extra tracks into my collection. And also I thought as well, from a podcast perspective and general research, I thought it would be interesting to compare the waveform of the original release with the waveform of this very recent reissue, which would have been remastered, I'm sure. So that is why I have bought this again. So overall, this is the entire load. There's what, 10 to 12 plus CDs in here. Originally, it was going to cost about £32, but the seller had a 50% off thing on their account, because this is how it goes with bundles on Vinted. If you buy several from the same seller, they start knocking money off. So in total, I paid £16. With a £1.50 buyer's protection and postage, it came out to about £20 or so, which I think is actually pretty good, you know. I think that's pretty good. If I was to buy these new, it would cost me a lot more than that. And while I'd almost given up with collecting Quo, it's just nice to have some live performances in here that were missing, that I might want to get out occasionally. And obviously 1982 on CD, plus this compilation, finally getting volume 2 and 3 with my volume 1. Yeah, I think a nice steady haul of various eras as well. What do you think of the haul that I got here? Please do let me know in the comments below. And also, what was the last Quo album or piece of memorabilia that you bought? Hopefully, at some point, if I see things that interest me at a relatively okay price, I mean, that was a steal for that, in my opinion, then I will do some more of these haul videos. Yeah, so anyway, thanks so much for watching. See you next time on the Quo-Cast.